Imagine a space perfectly still, completely devoid of action. To break that perfect silence, something physical has to move. A stationary object must be forced into motion. Whether it is the hard strike of a tightly stretched drumhead or the sudden impact against a metal bell, kinetic energy forces the surrounding matter to vibrate rapidly. We have our own built-in kinetic engine. In this diagram of the larynx, vocal cords remain wide open when we breathe. To speak, these muscular ligaments pull tightly together, forcing air through a narrow slit, creating rapid vibration. Sound is an active, continuous physical event, born strictly from this displacement of matter. Once that initial vibration happens, the newly created wave faces an immediate hurdle. It cannot cross an empty void. It needs a physical bridge to travel. In solid matter, molecules are packed tightly together. Kinetic energy transfers rapidly from node to node, making solids the fastest highway. In liquids and gases, molecules are further apart. Passing energy across these larger gaps takes more time, slowing the wave down. If you remove the molecules entirely, creating a perfect vacuum, the wave has nothing to push against. It dies instantly. The environment itself acts as the invisible highway. Without physical matter to pass the baton, the energetic journey ends exactly where it started. Let's assume our airborne wave survives its journey and finally reaches the human head. By the time it arrives, the wave is losing energy. The asymmetrical curved shape of the outer ear acts as a specialized funnel designed to catch those fading frequencies out of the open air. Once captured, the wave is forced down the narrowing corridor of the auditory canal, concentrating its remaining energy. At the end of the canal, that concentrated air pressure strikes a thin barrier called the eardrum, sending ripples through the organic membrane. This is the body's first mechanical net, designed to salvage and trap fading external energy before it dissipates into the environment. Now that the wave is inside the body, it faces a new physical problem. It has to push through the heavy, dense fluid waiting in the inner ear, but it no longer has the momentum to do so. To solve this, the wave enters the middle ear, an enclosed biological machine room that houses 3 tiny bones called the ossicles. This schematic shows how the malleus, incus, and stapes lock together into a precise mechanical lever system, concentrating the eardrum's wide movements. Because its final footprint is much smaller, it multiplies the incoming wave's force 30 to 60 times. With that massive boost in pressure, the final bone punches the wave through a microscopic secondary barrier, the oval window, breaching the fluid chamber. Biology uses this physical amplifier to ensure the wave survives the transition from an airborne environment to a liquid one. The supercharged wave now surges into the cochlea, a spiral, fluid-filled labyrinth. As the kinetic energy ripples through this thick liquid environment, the physical wave reaches the very end of its journey. The cochlea's inner walls are lined with microscopic, hair-like structures. Pushed by the fluid, these tiny stalks physically bend and dance in the current. This bending triggers a chemical reaction at the base of the hairs, generating an electrical spark. This is the exact point where mechanical motion stops and biological data begins. The newly minted electrical code races away from the ear, speeding up the auditory nerve toward the brain. When those sparks reach the auditory cortex, the brain's command center decodes the incoming electricity into the subjective experience of music, traffic noise, or speech. This timeline illustrates the sequence: production, propagation, and perception. The wave's maximum displacement is its amplitude, interpreted as volume in decibels. Vibrations per second dictate its frequency, interpreted as pitch within the human audible limit of 20 to 20,000 Hz. The reality of sound is a continuous chain of translated energy, allowing us to physically interface with the world without ever leaving our bodies.